Hi everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean. This is In The Mixer as we continue our Hashtag United series in Football Manager 2019. Not too much has happened since the last episode. Actually, this overview page is kind of good because we can kind of look at where we're at in the league. We haven't really played that much more in the league since last episode. Our finances are going down at an alarming rate. Like between February and September, we've lost 150k. I can't imagine what's doing that at the moment because I'm well and truly under wage budget by £900 a week. But before we get into that, let's look at the results that took place off screen. Last episode, of course, had those two FA Cup games against Tooting and Mitcham, finally getting past them in extra time 2-0. Then we played Lowestoft Town. They were 7th in the league at the time. I think we were around 4th or whatever, beat them 3-1. We also had two disallowed goals in this game. A very good performance. Theirs was a scrappy goal from a corner that kind of made me a little bit nervous at 2-1, but in reality we had a heap more chances after that and we're the better side. And then, because we are cursed at the moment in the FA Cup, we had a 1-1 draw with Buckland. We were all over them for the majority of this game. Created a ton of chances. They pulled one back late on through a corner to Jamie Tank. It scrambled out to him at the top of the box, and he finished. And then we beat them pretty convincingly, a second string side, really. Ryan Adams eventually getting a pretty good goal, actually. A volley that, from a header that came back out from a corner. But that was enough to thankfully see us through and get us a little bit extra cash, which is more than handy. That replay has changed our schedule for this episode a little bit. It's just flipped the games around. So when we came into the last episode, Hales Owen was sitting, I think, in 5th and Cleethorpes was sitting in 1st. It's now going to be the other way around. We'll play Hales Owen Town 1st and then Cleethorpes 2nd. They have dropped down the division, but similar to us, the teams that are currently still in the FA Cup or keep having FA Cup replays have games in hand on those ahead of them. So like Cleethorpes wins their game in hand on Rushden and Diamonds, they could jump as high as 2nd. We have 2 games in hand on most of the teams above us, but 2 victories here gives us good margins to Cleethorpes and to Hales Owen itself, so 2 massive top of the table fixtures. We're in relatively strong form, 2 draws, 3 wins in our last 5. They're kind of inconsistent, a bit of a yo-yo side or form guide there, although they are favourites, which is interesting. I just noticed that there. And this is the lineup that we're going to go with. Mourinho in goal, Humphrey and Jamel Akeem as the fullbacks. Akeem will come in for the next 6 to 7 weeks. Ryan George has picked up an injury. Stamp and Cigano as a central defensive partnership. Hersett will anchor midfield, though he is sitting on a yellow card ban if he picks another one up. And Pollock alongside him as the Messiah. Shashua has moved into our highest average rated player for the season thus far, and he'll play at the 10. Honesty and Morley are our leading assist makers thus far in the opening 6 games, plus whatever cup competitions. And Tashan Richmond, the captain and leading scorer up top. Looking at the Hales Owen Town team, it's decent looking. Davison Hale in goal. Hernandez, who I think is I think that's a Barnett kit. Left back. Wilson at right back. Judge and Morris as their central defensive partnership. Calverley, Harris and Evans as their midfield 3. Tyler Harvey will play up top. He's their captain and leading scorer, and he's actually a phenomenal player. I've played with him before at Truro City, and he was like a 5-star player for the division above where we currently are in the Vanarama South, so he's a good one. Rafael Correa and Osa Davey will play alongside him. We haven't come up against many flat 4-3-3 with 3 striker formations. They were overpowered in FM19, so it'll be interesting to see how we go against this one today in the 2019 version of the game. Alright, and away we go at the Coles Park Square. We haven't been doing too badly on it. I still don't like it. I wish the pitch was bigger because it could make better use of our wingers and our creative outlets out there. But we've got an alright home record so far in the opening few games of the season, though we do have a corner to Hales Owen here. It's a deep one across. Mourinho does well, comes out and gathers the ball. Is there a counter-attack to be had here? We've got 4v3 in that far end. It's going to come forward to Wilson. Tries to get rid to Humphrey. Back to Wilson again, to Harris. Correa finds Wilson on the overlap. It's a good run from the young right back. Osadebe gets the goal for Hales Owen Town. Chinedo Osadebe, first goal of his season, and it was a good recovery, overlapping run and assist from Wilson here. That's clever from Correa, just that reverse ball around the corner. And he just hangs it back thick and knocks that one back across the keeper. So not an ideal start. We're a goal down in the opening 5 minutes. And I guess that also gives them a goal, gives them a lead to defend as well, which might make it tougher. It would see them go outright in top spot again on 18 points and a plus 11 goal difference. We would remain in 7th, but I think we need to kind of go for it a little bit in this game and try and get the 3 points. Davison Hale now with the ball forward to Hernandez at left back. to Calverley. Crossfield switch. Should get tidied up by Tom Humphrey. He can keep it in and does. Looks for Harry Honesty down the wing. We've got men in the middle if he can find them. Finds Shashua now, who has space to come into. Bursts forward now into the box. Gets his strike away, and it's a good save from Davison Hale, to be fair. But a great run there from Shashua. Really no one from Halzone stood out to him. Morley with the corner now. Davison Hale drops, and Tashan Richmond is, man, the fox in the box for his 7th goal of the season. We've been absolutely handed one there by Davison Hale. Let's check it out in 3D and see how it looks. Morley just with a regulation corner, and Davison Hale just absolute howler there. Drops it at the feet of Tashan Richmond, who makes no mistake, and we restore parity 1-1 in the game. It would see us move up into 5th spot, and Halzone drop down into 2nd. But in reality, I want to push and try and get a winning goal here, so that we can jump back up towards top spot again and hopefully leapfrog Halzone in the process. Judge now with the ball in halfway. We've had a lot of first half highlights here. Richmond plays a ball out towards Charlie Morley, but Hernandez will get there first. Morley's recovered from Judge. He can burst forward now. He's got men in support. Instead he strikes from a wide angle, and Davison Hale, his angles were good, and he puts that one out for a corner. Shashua will take this corner on this near side. It's a deep one towards Tashan Richmond. It's headed away. Marcus Stamp should recover, but he's lost out to Evans on the halfway line. Evans doesn't seem to know what he wants to do with it. He plays Correa on the right-hand side. Deep ball, headed away by Akeem. The highlight continues, but it's a good tackle, and the highlight comes to an end. So end-to-end stuff at the moment. Got another highlight here. Humphrey to Honesty. He's got a man inside. Instead he finds Humphrey. Played forward now to Lee Hursett. Humphrey bursts past 2 in the middle. He's still going on his run here, all the way into the box, gets his strike away. It's going to come to Harry Honesty, and it's the 2nd goal of the season for the flying left winger. What a run that was from Tom Humphrey. He initially picked up the ball inside his own half, skipped past 2 midfield challenges here, and he just kept going. No one in this defensive line for Halzone wants to step to the man, and it's Humphrey, not a great strike, but Davison Hale does well to keep it out, and it falls to Harry Honesty, who smacks that one into the far corner, and we take a 2-1 lead. I'm going to use a shout as well. I think it's also a decent time to demand more, just so that we maintain our current levels of intensity. I don't want to give them a window back into the game. And taking that lead would see us move up into 2nd spot on goal difference on 16 points. Harris now with the corner. Deep one towards Calverley back post. He gets his header towards goal, but Mourinho comes out and claims pretty well. It was going wide even if Mourinho hadn't got there. Is there another highlight to come here? Ball's come to Morris. Played forward to Harris. Good work, good win from Tashan Richmond back there. Tom Humphrey, who's been excellent in the opening few highlights we've seen so far with the ball. Honesty now, inside to Tashan Richmond. Strike from distance. It wasn't a bad effort, but just over. Just thinking out loud, like how many games have we had lately that have just had no highlights in them, like in the first half or even in the second half? This game has had more highlights in this half than I think most of the games that we've played over the last month. It is end-to-end stuff, which also, I guess it's easy to be an end-to-end game when you're playing on square. 2 minutes to be added on here, and we're through them now. The referee should hopefully bring the game to, not game to a close, but bring the half to a close. 11 shots, 4 on target, 60% possession, so we are doing well. We've got to guard against complacency though. Don't think the job is done. I think Halzone are going to be one of the better sides in this division, and the man we spoke about before the game, on the ball now, Tyler Harvey, hasn't done a lot in the highlights that we've seen, so there is definitely still quality out there for them. They've got a corner now, Harris to take. Deep one towards Judge. Hursett was there marking, but Marino does well and gets to the ball first and saves. We've got men forward. We've got a 4v2, now 4v3. Ball towards Shashua. Play Tashan Richmond in the middle. He's through if he can find the finish. And Davison Hale, who has been very good, it has to be said. He gets out, makes himself big, and that one is hacked away by the Halzone Town defence. Just on those quick transitions, like we're getting 4 people forward against their 3 just on corners and stuff alone. I think that's the 3rd or 4th highlight that we've seen that's been a quick break out of Mourinho's hands, so hopefully they can continue. Alright, Davison Hale with the ball forward now, finds Wilson at right fullback. He bursts forward, deep ball towards Alosa Darby, who scored the first goal. Pollock's done well and plays forward to Charlie Morley. We've got men in the middle if he can find them. Releases now to Shashua. He's got another man square. It's a good tackle from Judge, but it's going to come out to Charlie Morley again if he can get the ball in towards Tashan Richmond. And I'm not sure what happened with the defence there, but Tashan Richmond gets his 8th goal of the season, and he's finally back into goal-scoring form after struggling so much in the FA Cup over the last few weeks, with Daniel Adji being the preferred starter. It's a great ball here from Charlie Morley, but what's going on with the defence? They just kind of get away from it. Oh, it's a missed header. So whoever that number 4 is there, or 14... I can't click on him to see, but just misses his header, and thankfully Tashan Richmond is alive to it. and just side foots that one home to give us a 3-1 margin. And this is also one of the rare occasions where there's nobody out there that's visibly struggling in this game. There's nobody out there that's got poor conditioning. There's nobody out there that's on a yellow card. So we might give it another 10 minutes before we look at making our usual subs around the hour mark. Davison Hale with the ball forward now. Should be won by Harry Honesty. His touch is poor though. And Morris clears with a crossfield switch. Comes out to Jamal Akeem. Played forward to Charlie Morley, who's looked lively. Shashua loses out on halfway. Calverley now has men in front of him. Osadabe finds Harvey, his first real contribution that we've seen from a highlight. Calverley somehow retains the ball despite pressure from quite a few different players there. It's come forward. Hernandez back in, and it finds Correa, back post, Raul Correa. I thought his name was Rafael. Lower Hernandez. It's a very cosmopolitan sounding Halzon lineup. It's a great save there from Mourinho from Osadabe from about a yard out, but the clearance only goes as far as Hernandez. And Humphrey just loses his man a little bit, and Correa is there to side foot home. So it's going to be a tense finish for the last few minutes. I think what we'll also do at this point is have a look at making our subs as well. Alright, so 2 subs. Kane Brogan will come on for Jamal Akeem at right fullback. Ricky Evans will come on and play as a central midfield defender for Scott Pollock. So he and Hurst will be charged with locking down the game for the remaining 20 minutes. And I'm also going to just use a shout, and I'm going to demand more because it's Old Faithful. Don't change your processes if they're working. Most people are focused. Shashua is the only one pressured by it. Everyone else seems either motivated, calm, or composed, which is great. We've got a throw in here. Humphrey to take a throw in. Wilson inside to Calverley to Hussein, who's come off the bench for them. All the way back to Judge. Looks towards Brougham, heads it away. It's come to Osadabe again. Crossfield switch towards Wilson. They are definitely playing a very wide game, and Correa is thankfully offside, but we've just gotten away with one there. It was a good cross from Wilson, and there's a danger that they're on the overlap here that they are going to start pushing further and further. Thankfully, when the ball came in, he was in an offside position. Corner now by McKeekeren. It's a deep one towards Judge. It's headed away well. We've got numbers coming forward now. They've pushed a lot of men forward. If Shashua can select the right pass, we might be on here. Richmond with the crossfield switch to Morley. Can he find the finish? It's a good save from Davison Hale. It's out to Morley again. To Brougham at the top of the box. Finds Lee Hurst. It pinballs around. Couple of strikes there. They managed to get it away. Is there a counter-attack here that for them? Coombs finds Wilson on the overlapping run. Someone's got to step to him. It's a deep ball towards Hernandez. Hopefully it's going to come out to Charlie Morley. We've got a counter-attack on here again. And is he tackled? No, it's a good sliding challenge. The highlight continues. Singano winning everything out of the air at the moment. Morley on the right-hand side. Can he find a decent ball into the box? Tashan Richmond front stick. It hits the post. It comes to Shashua, and he's hit straight at the keeper. Somehow this highlight could have gone either way. I thought they were going to score. I thought we were going to score. Oh, tense. We're into extra time now, and the referee thankfully calls full time. What a game that was. 26 shots, 12 on target, 61% of the ball. They had 12 shots, 8 of their own on target, and 39%. So end-to-end stuff from both sides. So I'm going to passionately tell everybody, well done lads, that was a good win for us. It does put us back up into second position. We do have a game on hand, or game in hand on the team in top spot, which makes this game against Cleethorpes Town absolutely massive for the early part of the season. Vintage display ensures #United victory. Tashan Richmond, his 2 goals and return to scoring form, massive for us, and he's going to be huge going forward for the rest of the season. Magic of editing though, we're going to jump ahead to the game in 2 days' time against Cleethorpes. Alright, so there is an update. Disaster has struck in one regard. Matt Carter has finally signed for a team, and it is not #United. He signed at Western Supermare. He's only on a deal till the end of the season, so we're just going to keep keeping an eye on that. He's signed. What the good news is, right? So when he previously played at Torquay, he was on like £650 a week, which we've never been able to afford. He's now at Western Supermare, one division above where we're currently playing, on £350 a week. Realistically, if we get promoted and he leaves at the end of this contract, we might be able to pick him up. So it might be the closest that we're getting to actually getting a complete #United squad as far as active players are concerned in this game. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'll keep you guys updated. We've got a couple other players that are on the shortlist here as well. They're not going to come at the moment, but if in the next few weeks they are interested, we'll continue to offer them trials and that sort of thing, and then have a look at how decent they are from there. But we have a game to focus on. Also, Aaron Couch got an injury during the course of the week. It's 6 weeks or something like that. Nothing too horrendous. And he wasn't in the squad anyway, so it's not a massive issue. Otherwise, though, it is an unchanged lineup for us. It'll be the exact same team going into this one. They've got quite a few faces, which is terrifying. Aguirre, an ex-Salford goalkeeper in goal, and their captain, Hurd, who I think that's a Southend kit, as left back and their star player. Volks and Coombs be their central defensive partnership. Topless at right full back. Humphreys on the right wing, ex-Oxford United. Foley on the left wing. I have no idea whose kit that is. Osborne and Carter in the middle. Cullen, their leading scorer, up top alongside Tomlinson. It's a flat 4-4-2. We've traditionally done very well against that formation, and hopefully we can carry on with the decent form from the last win into this game and get a really valuable, massive 6 points. Right, Hersett now. Ball inside to Pollock. Comes to Tashan Richmond. Out to Charlie Morley. There is an overlapping fullback coming. Instead he goes to Shashua, who just had to get his shot on target, but blazes over, aiming for the far corner. But decent, at least inside 10 minutes. We've had a highlight. It was a good one. We've got another one here from Humphrey. Shashua to Hersett. Can he get the ball in? Instead he finds Pollock at the top of the box. It's a decent strike, but just over the Cleethorpes goal. So at least we're putting pressure on. At least we're taking the game to him. What's hurting us is that we've taken 4 shots, and none of them have been on target thus far. Tomlinson now with a free kick from distance, and thankfully it is just over the top. Mourinho was in decent position though. Got a highlight here. It's the first one for a little while. Topless takes the ball on the right hand side. Out to Humphreys on the right. Someone needs to step to him. Thankfully Hersett does now, but he goes past that challenge. Top of the box finds Foley, and if he had gotten that on target, we'd have been in some trouble. He puts it side netting from a difficult angle. And we should be at the end of the first half here. The referee's just called time. So, bright start from us, but in reality, they kind of came back into it a little bit with that last highlight we saw. I'm just going to say I'm happy with your performance so far. Keep it up, and everyone's responded positively. So, hopefully, we can use that wave of momentum and that good morale to kind of take our game up to another level and find a finish here. Is this just going to be a kick-off highlight? Stamp heads it away. Comes out to Carter, to Humphreys. He's in a deep area. Goes back to Topless. Headed away to Stamp, to Hersett, to Pollock. It's a long ball over the top. Tashan Richmond might get there first. He does. Can he find the finish? It's a good strike. Comes out to Charlie Morley again, but it's headed away well by Foley. Is that the end of the highlight? Pollock to Hersett. Back to Pollock again. Working nice triangles at the top of midfield here. Morley. Strike from distance. What a goal that is from Charlie Morley. That has got to be a goal of the season contender. His first goal of the season. That's crazy. I thought he'd scored way more up until this point. Just really good play here from the midfield 3. Just finding a little pocket of space. Ball forward from Shashua to Morley. Steps inside and on his not favoured left foot, smacks that one into the top left-hand corner, which is great. That gives us a lead to defend, and it should, I could be wrong, but it should put us top of the division. Up in the top spot, only on goal difference ahead of Redditch, who we've already played once and beaten this season. But our plus 11 goal difference is what's keeping us there at the time being. But we need to hold on to it. We've already seen from the couple of highlights that Cleethorpes definitely have a bit about them. We've got another highlight here. Akeem to Shashua. Akeem just needs to find a decent pass out. He goes for a long one towards Tashan Richmond, who does very well to bring the ball under control in traffic and play out to Charlie Morley on the right-hand side. He comes forward now, and it's another strike from distance, a similar area to where his goal was, but Aguirre, I'm butchering that pronunciation. Let's just call him Big Tony. Big Tony is equal to that one in the Cleethorpes goal. Alright, we're through an hour. I've made 2 subs. Aggie's going to come on for Tashan Richmond, who struggled a little bit, and Theo Baker will come on the left wing for Harry Honesty. I just really want to see us kind of just hold this lead. I'm not going to change anything regarding the mentality, because last time I went to our cautious mentality, we immediately conceded. But what I think I do want to do is use a shout and just tell everybody to get creative, which is kind of the opposite of what I actually want. But I'm trying to use some sort of reverse psychology here with the shouts. Get creative. We'll see who responds positively to it. There's a couple of Mourinho and Singano are pressured. Humphrey's inspired by it. And hopefully the 2 subs that have just come on are a little bit inspired as well. Looking around the grounds, Redditch have now gone 1-1 against Kings Langley, so that would see them drop back down to 3rd spot and Seas go outright on points in top spot. It looks like Cambridge and Leiston are playing the game of the season thus far, currently 4-4 with 20 minutes remaining. Shashua out to Morley, back to Akeem. Looks for a crossfield switch that probably wasn't on. Topless is going to head it away, but Baker should tidy up. Goes back to Hersett. Humphrey now with the... Humphreys wins the ball back very well. Thankfully, Marcus Stamp is there to tidy up. Akeem out to Morley on the right. We're switching it side to side very well. Morley from distance, and Big T in the Cleethorpes goal is very much equal to that one. But at least it's a highlight going our way. We've still only seen 1 shot on target from them according to the stat line. But usually, if season 4 is going to be consistent, that means they're about to score. Alright, 10 minutes remaining. We've still got our 1 goal advantage. I'm going to use a shout, and I'm going to say demand more because it consistently seems to work for me. And I just want them to find some focus or find some motivation. They've immediately got to highlight Tomlinson to take a free kick. It's a good save from Mourinho, and Hurst should be the first one to it. He's got a man on the right here in Charlie Morley, and I thought maybe there might be a counter-attack there, but second shot on target for Cleethorpes. Again, I'm not sure if that's how I'm supposed to pronounce that. That's just how I'm going to say it. So, if there is a different way to say it, phonetically, put it in the comment section below. Let me know. Let me learn. Stamp now with a deep free kick. There's a 1 minute remaining of the 3 minutes added on at the end of the match here. Humphrey bursts forward and finds Hurst. Volk should win that one back. Pollock comes forward. Crossfield switch towards Daniel Adji. There are men in the middle if you can find them. Volks goes through the back of him, but it's going to come out to Humphrey. Hurst, back to Humphrey again. Just need to retain possession, boys. Don't overcomplicate anything. Ball towards Theo Baker's going to go out for a goal kick, and surely by the time their keeper gets this, places it down and clears it, it will be the end of extra time. Thankfully, the referees called it there. A 1-0 win. This has been a tense episode. The tension in each of these games has been palpable. I'm just going to assertively say, well done, lads. A good win for us. We're starting to see more of these yellows turn into greens, which is great. That's what we need to keep for the rest of the season. And it also sees us go top of the table. We've been sitting there for ages doing these ridiculous FA Cup replays. That has meant we've fallen behind other teams in the division, but now we've won our games in hand. We're back up where we should be, challenging for that top spot, or at very least challenging for a playoff position. Not only did Kings Langley equalise against Redditch, they also had Burdett sent off in the 90 plus 4th minute, so hopefully that keeps some distance between us and them. And that game of the season, that 4-4 draw between Cambridge and Leaston, stayed that way. No goals after the 51st minute equaliser from Kershaw. But for us, hashtag United go top of Evo Stick Southern Premier Central, which is absolutely fantastic. Charlie Morley, man of the match with that stunning strike. Interesting one. For an occasion which promised so much, the fixture was marred by a succession of fouls by hashtag United that prevented the match from ever truly getting into rhythm. There's only one yellow card, and it was for David Foley of Cleethorpes, so I don't know how bad we could have possibly been. Morley shines as hashtag United win. Let's praise him as well, because that was a fantastic goal. Probably goal of the season, though that is a massive claim given that we're still only in September. Speaking of, that will close off our fixtures for the September period. We're in a decent run of form here. We haven't lost in our last 7 games, is that right? Yeah, 7 games, which is great. Do have a little run of fixtures remaining in September. Rushton and Diamonds is a big one, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to skip ahead a little bit and we're going to play our FA Trophy game against this unknown opposition here at the start of October, and then the game against St Ives. They're currently 15th in the division. We will play it at home, and that gives us a little bit of a chance to play a couple more games off screen in the league itself. Our first ever fixture in the big freebet.com Challenge Cup. That one's a mouthful. We will rotate. We are playing lower league opposition in Cirencester, however you pronounce that. And then we'll come back for that cup competition in October. More than anything, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really am appreciating the continued support and the continued views that we're getting on this series. It's only going to pick up momentum as we go. If you have any feedback or questions that you wanted to ask, of course, chuck them in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on future videos, or you can follow @InTheMixer_FM on Twitter. But like I said, I just appreciate you guys watching. So I'll see you all again in the mixer, and of course, don't ever forget to hashtag it.